Good morning. Today's flow is going to be an extremely gentle one, and we're going to start to work into our hips, our glutes, and our hip flexors. So making sure that all the movements feel good, and then you can start to feel your energy flowing through your physical body. So making our way onto our backs, and just coming to rest with the soles of your feet connected to the earth beneath you, palms up. I'm going to take 3 breaths in through both nostrils and exhaling out the mouth. I'm going to inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Taking one more deep inhalation. And as you exhale, really let your body start to melt, relaxing the muscles in your legs, your belly, your face. And extending our right leg down the mat, we're going to draw that left knee in towards our chest and just start to rock it from side to side. Just starting to feel that stretch coming into our hip, letting everything move gently. And then coming to stillness, and we're going to flex our toe forward and back, just working into those ankle joints. So we want to start to slowly awaken the whole body. And then switching legs, drawing the right knee in, left leg finds the floor, and just slowly moving it backwards and forwards. If you're comfortable, just close down your eyes and really feel where you're feeling the movements in your body. Notice where you're tensing and relaxing. And then flexing that foot, getting into that ankle joint, just slowly backwards and forwards. And then drawing both knees into chest, we're going to start to make some circles, massaging that lower sacrum into the mat. And then going the other way. Just keep breathing with that beautiful inhale through both nostrils, and then that releasing exhale through the mouth. This helps to bring our body into a state of rest and digest. So we're going to slowly rock forward, touching our toes down, and then rock back. Taking 3 of these gentle massages along the back of the spine, and then rolling over and coming onto our hands and knees. We're going to align our hands sort of beneath the elbows and the shoulders, spreading the fingertips wide. We're going to start to rock forward over the hands and then sinking back, stretching out slowly. Inhale to come forward, exhale to come back. Starting to bring some gentle stresses into the wrists, never going so far as it hurts, but just allowing that flex to come into the back of the hands. And as we sink back next time, just allowing yourself to come into child's pose. So taking those knees wide, toes come to touch, spreading your hands forward, and starting to let your forehead find the mat. If your forehead doesn't reach the mat, you may want to place a cushion or a bolster or a block underneath it, or even just stack your hands if that feels good to you. If you have any pain in your shoulders, you can either bring your hands by your side or even make prayer pose above the head, bringing the stretch into the underneath of the arms. Taking 3 more breaths here. And then slowly rocking up, bringing your hands back underneath your shoulders. We're going to come into pigeon pose. So we're going to just walk our hands forward slightly, coming up onto our toes. We're going to bring that left knee towards the left wrist and slowly sink that right leg back. You can stay upright here if that feels enough for you. You want to feel the stretch into that left glute and hip, and then slowly coming down onto your forearms. And if it feels good to you, you can come all the way down, letting your forehead find the mat. Just find the variation that feels the most nourishing for you. So you want to feel the stretch, but you don't want it to be too painful. And just slowly rocking the hips, letting our body start to melt into the pose rather than trying to force it. And then finding stillness for 3 breaths. Inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. And after your last exhalation, slowly walking the hands back up if you're down on the mat, curling over onto your back toe and sweeping that left leg back. You can pause here, taking a few breaths, engaging that core, just feeling that strength building into our wrists and arms. And then bring that right knee towards the right wrist and slowly finding the variation that works for you. So rocking from side to side, maybe coming down onto your forearms, pausing here, really stretching that back leg back and noticing where you're feeling the stretch. So I'm feeling it in here at the moment and I'm breathing into that area. As I exhale, I'm consciously relaxing it and allowing myself to melt deeper into the pose. You'll notice if you tense up and try to resist the pose, it gets a little bit harder. So breathing, taking 3 breaths, whatever variation works for you. And then gently coming back up, breathing slowly and mindfully, curling over those toes, making our way back into plank pose, dropping the knees, taking the legs wide, and just sinking back onto your heels. Taking a breath, you should roll your shoulders, just starting to feel into that upper body a little bit. And then crossing the ankles, just coming to rest into a seated position. I'm going to take our left foot, I'm going to tuck the heel beneath the right buttocks. You're then going to take the right foot over the top and coming into our cow pose. So this might be too much for you. If that's the case, you can always just bring that foot to the ground. So we want to feel the stretch into both hips if possible, but we will swap sides. Taking hold of your feet, taking an inhale and exhale. Consciously relaxing the muscles from the crown of the head, down the back, into the hips and toes. Just letting a smile find your face, really enjoying that stretch, knowing that it's going to help us throughout the day. Just for these few minutes that you're going to spend in movement, you're starting to open your body and giving it a chance to work out all the kinks from the night before. And then rolling forward, uncurling the legs, and taking a few minutes in cat-cow. So aligning your knees beneath your hips, we're going to drop our chest through the arms, gaze comes to the ceiling. Inhale, and then exhale, curling your belly button to spine, really tucking that chin into the chest and feeling the stretch all along the back of the shoulders. It's flowing and starting to make it like a wave in time with your breath. There's no rush, and letting your hips move wobble from side to side. And then coming back to stillness, and this time we're going to take our right leg beneath the left. So sitting back on the heels, tucking that right leg beneath the left hip, and then the left leg over the top. I just find it easier just to rock forward to get that alignment. See if you can make connection with your seat bones onto the mat, rolling back those shoulders, opening up all across the heart space, and going into the pose. Feeling where you're feeling that stretch. Remembering if it gets too much, you can always uncurl that top leg a little bit. So you're still getting that beautiful stretch into both hips. Just taking 3 more breaths here. then gently unfurling the legs. I'm going to take them as wide as the mat and just take a gentle rainbow from side to side, letting your legs fall to the right and then to the left. And this time, as they come to the right, just pausing, taking a few breaths here. And then flowing them over to the left. And back up to seated. I'm going to take that left leg all the way out in front. Take the time to take the flesh away from our seat bones. I'm going to draw that right leg into the inner thigh. So you can have it down on the calf if that feels better. Just try not to put any pressure onto the knee joint. Taking the time to get your alignment so that both seat bones are really grounding down. I'm going to inhale, sweeping our arms up and overhead. And as you exhale, taking a bend into that left leg, we're just going to start to pulse forward. So taking a few breaths, feeling that stretch, finding where you can reach comfortably without it being at all painful. So you want it to feel good. And then once you've found that edge, just pausing, flipping over the palms, still letting your chest lead and start to melt down over your leg. Just enjoying that stretch all the way up the back of the thighs, the calves. And then swapping legs, coming up, extending the right leg down, left leg comes in towards the inner leg. Taking that time, getting those seat bones correct, drawing your toes back. And inhale, opening up across the chest. If you turn your pinkies towards the back, you'll notice that it gives you that little bit more space in your back, in the shoulders. Taking that beautiful bend and then pulsing forward, feeling the stretch and then releasing it. And then flipping the palms, coming to stillness. Maybe taking a nod of the head. And one more breath. And coming gently back up. Taking both feet to the soles of the feet to the mat. Lowering down onto your back. We're going to set up for our bridge pose. So just walking your feet as close into your bottom as feels comfortable. If you can touch your heels, that's great. Just getting yourself so you can feel your pelvis as it tilts up and down onto the mat. You're going to inhale. And as you inhale, I want you to curl that pelvis up, pressing through the glutes and starting to let your hips rise. Feeling the stretch into that lower back. Inhale. And then exhale to lower. Tilting the pelvis, really massaging in the spine to the mat. Rising up. And this time as we reach the top, just bringing your hands up and over. Creating one long line of energy. While we're up here, we're going to draw our knees in towards one another and notice how that engages the front of the thighs that little bit more. Taking one inhale at the top and then exhale, bringing your hands overhead, lowering down. Drawing the knees into chest and just giving yourself one last hug before we prepare for Shavasana. And then allowing both feet to find the mat, extending the legs down, taking them as wide as is comfortable, hands by your side, and just letting your whole body rest. Feeling your toes relax, your heels, the back of your calf, thighs, hips, belly, chest, face, and the crown of your head. The whole body is completely still, completely relaxed. I encourage you to remain here for as long as you possibly can, just allowing yourself that chance to really rest the body. For those of you who are leaving now, just bringing our hands together in Anjali Mudra prayer pose at our heart space. We raise them to our third eye for compassion in our thoughts. We bring them to our lips for compassion in the words that we speak, internally to ourselves and externally to others. We bring them to our heart space for compassion in the actions we choose to take as we walk our journey every day. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all beings be happy and free, and may my thoughts, my words, and my actions contribute to that happiness and freedom for all. Thank you so much for joining me for our morning Feel Good Flow. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope that I get to see you next time. Don't forget to like, subscribe. If you've got any comments, please leave them below, and I'd love to hear from you. Have a beautiful rest of your day.